If you've been looking into AWS certifications, you probably know how overwhelming that it gets. There are 12 different certifications across 4 levels. Every one online has also a different opinion on which ones to get, and half of the guides out there are already outdated because AWS will keep changing things. Now, in this video, I'm going to give you the complete AWS certification overview for 2027. I'll go over what each certification is and why they matter, the different tiers, and how much experience that you actually need for each one, how the exams work, the biggest mistakes that people make when preparing for an exam, and where the entire certification industry is headed in 2027. And if you stay until the end, I'll also reveal the fastest way to get AWS certified, which most people don't even know about. So whether you're completely new to cloud and AWS, or you're already in tech and you're just trying to figure out which certification to go for next, this is everything that you need in one place. Let's get into it. Now, before we get into the certifications, I just want to make sure that we are on the same page with the basics. Cloud computing means instead of buying and maintaining your own physical servers, you rent it from a company like Amazon. They've built massive data centers across the world, set up the hardware, and hired people to maintain it. You log in, you pick what you need, and you pay for what you use. That's cloud computing. Access to resources like compute, networking, storage, databases, all via an internet connection. And Amazon provides this through a platform called AWS, which has the largest market share, the most customers, and also the most job opportunities out there for any cloud provider. There are also other cloud providers like Microsoft Azure or Google Cloud, but the core technology is fundamentally the same. So if you learn on AWS, that knowledge also transfers. And because AWS has the biggest market share and the most mature certification program, it's the strongest starting point of the three. So AWS offers official exams that test your knowledge of their platform. You study the material, you book the exam date, you sit under real testing conditions. If you pass, you receive an official credential from AWS that is recognized globally across the industry. It goes on your resume, it goes on your LinkedIn, and it tells employers that you have a verified level of knowledge about AWS. These are closed book proctored exams. During the actual exam, you can't use Google, you can't use your notes or any sort of AI tool. And that point is actually more important now than it's ever been before. In 2027, anyone can use AI to write a polished resume or build a portfolio of tutorial projects. But of course, none of that on its own actually proves that you have the knowledge. A proctored AWS exam where you passed without any help is one of the few ways remaining to genuinely prove that you know what you claim to know. And employers are again starting to realize this. That's why certifications are becoming more valuable, not less, as AI tools have become more mainstream. The AI boom is going to explode certifications. Now, beyond the credibility, certifications also give you structured learning, a clear structured path to follow, especially when you're just starting out and you're brand new to AWS. It's a great way to build a confidence, and you can do this at your own pace while you're working a full-time job. Now, certifications on their own obviously won't guarantee you a specific salary or a specific job, but it can help you get past the resume screening, give you credibility in interviews, and open doors that might not open without them. Combined with hands-on experience, they put you in a much stronger position to land a tech role. Now, AWS has 12 active certifications organized across 4 levels: foundational, associate, professional, and specialty. There are no prerequisites. You don't technically need to pass a foundational exam before sitting an associate one or a professional one, but starting at a foundational level makes the most sense. And it's not just because it's the logical learning progression, it's actually because when you pass any AWS certification, you get a 50% discount voucher for the next exam. So starting at the first level makes everything else a lot cheaper. Let's go through each level. At the foundational level, there are 2 certifications. The Cloud Practitioner is the entry point to the entire AWS ecosystem. It gives you a broad understanding of what AWS is and how it all fits together. You cover core services like EC2 for compute, S3 storage, IAM for security and access management, plus pricing models, cloud architecture basics, shared responsibility model, and AWS global infrastructure. You do not need to know how to code or have any sort of hands-on experience here. The format is 65 questions in 90 minutes, a mix of multiple choice and multiple responses where you might need to select 2 or 3 correct answers. It costs you $100 and you need 700 out of 1,000 to pass. Now, most people with no cloud background at all passes within 1 to 2 weeks of focused study. The question style is very straightforward. You get a short scenario and then you pick the correct AWS service or concept for a list of options. The exam is testing whether you understand what AWS services do and when you would use them. The AI Practitioner is a second foundational certification. It has the same format and the same cost as a Cloud Practitioner. This one covers how AI and machine learning services work together on AWS. It's relatively new and reflects where AWS is investing a lot of money right now. If you're looking to specialize in AI or a data role, this is worth picking up alongside a cloud practitioner. If your path is more traditional cloud engineering or architecture, the cloud practitioner alone is enough at this level, but something that you can revisit later on. At the associate level, there are 5 certifications, and this is where things get a lot more serious. The Solutions Architect Associate is actually one of the most popular cloud certifications globally. This exam tests you whether you can design complete systems on AWS, not just knowing what each service does individually, but actually understanding how to connect them together to solve real business problems. Services like VPC for networking, Lambda for serverless compute, RDS for databases, CloudFront for content delivery. You need to think about high availability, fault tolerance, cost optimization, and security all of the time. 65 questions, 130 minutes, $150, and you need 720 out of 1,000 to pass. You can typically pass this exam in 4 to 6 weeks of focused study. The questions here are a lot longer than the foundational. The scenarios are also a little bit more complex, and there are often 2 answers that both seem correct, but only one is obviously the right answer. The exam is testing your judgment, not just your ability to recall services like the foundational level. This is the certification that really opens up the most doors for you. The Developer Associate is aimed at people looking for building applications on AWS, for Lambda, API Gateway, DynamoDB, CI/CD pipelines. If your goal is software development on cloud platforms, like a cloud developer role, and you have a coding background, and this one is your path. Cloud Ops Associate is for keeping cloud systems running day to day, monitoring, managing, deploying, and maintaining workloads on AWS. The Data Engineer Associate is for organizing, processing, and working with large amounts of data pipelines, data lakes, analytics using services like Glue, Redshift, and Kinesis. And Machine Learning Associate is for people wanting to learn the theoretical side of building and deploying AI machine learning systems on AWS. Now, the professional level. Here are 3 certifications. The jump from associate to professional is actually the biggest gap in the entire certification path. The Solutions Architect Professional is the most advanced architecture exam that AWS offers. 3 hours long, 75 questions, $300, and you need 750 out of 1,000 to pass. The scenarios are long and complex. You might get a full paragraph describing a company's infrastructure, their constraints, their budget, their compliance requirements, and then you need to design the optimal solution. Every option looks plausible, and you have to understand the trade-offs at a deeper level to pick the best one. This certification does carry a lot of weight, and it makes the most sense after you've got at least some experience in the AWS console and building a few hands-on projects. Then you've got the DevOps Engineer Professional certification. This is focused on automating how software gets built, tested, and deployed at AWS. This is actually a major part of what cloud engineers do day to day, but I wouldn't recommend taking the certifications before the Solutions Architect Professional certification. Finally, you've got the brand new Gen AI Developer certification. This covers how AI-powered applications on AWS are built using services like Bedrock and SageMaker. This certification is up and coming, and is just more of a signal on where AWS sees the industry going, obviously towards AI. At the specialty, there are 2 certifications, the Security Specialty and the Advanced Networking Specialty. These go deep into a single domain. They require serious specialized knowledge, and they're designed for people who are already working in those specific areas. The Security Specialty in particular is worth noting because security roles in cloud are in high demand. But this is an exam that you take after you already have hands-on experience building projects and not as an entry point. The Networking Specialty is actually expiring in August of 2026, so depending on when you watch this video, you might not even be able to take that one. So I've alluded to this already, but which AWS certification should you get? For most people, 2 or at the very most 3 is more than enough. If you're completely new to cloud and tech, you want to start with the cloud practitioner, build your foundation, and then go for the Solutions Architect Associate. Those 2 alone put you in a very strong position in terms of knowledge and capability. If you're already in IT or development, you can consider starting directly at the associate level. But the cloud practitioner is still worth taking first because it's quick, it's cheap, and you get that 50% voucher that saves you money on the next exam. Now, if you're interested in AI and machine learning, add the AI practitioner at the foundation level and then move towards a machine learning associate or the generative AI developer professional. If you are in a cloud role and you want to specialize, that's when the professional or specialty certifications make the most sense. The key principle takeaway is this: get the certifications that serve your next career move, but don't spend 18 months collecting certifications with nothing else to show for it, or spend 6 weeks deciding which certification to get, because certs prove that you have the theoretical knowledge. They do not prove that you can actually build things hands-on on AWS. They work best with combined hands-on experience. That means getting into AWS console, using infrastructure as code, building real projects, and documenting what what you've built. AWS has a pretty decent free tier where you can use the platform without paying anything. Now, in terms of the exams, every AWS certification has a free exam guide published on the AWS website. This tells you exactly what the topics are on the test and how much each domain is worth as a percentage of the total score. For example, the Cloud Practitioner exam has 4 domains: Cloud Concepts at 24%, Security and Compliance at 30%, Cloud Technology and Services at 34%, and Billing and Pricing Support at 12%. Those weightings tell you exactly where to focus on. If Cloud Technology and Services is 34% of the exam, that's where a third of your study time should be going towards. This exam guide is the first thing to download before you start preparing for any certification. When you're ready to book your exam, you go through Pearson VUE and you've got 2 options: a test center where you physically go into and sit in a control room, or online proctored where you can take it from home with a webcam monitoring you throughout. Both are completely viable. On test day or exam day, you need to bring 2 folders of ID. You can't bring your phone, notes, or any sort of materials into the exam. The questions are a mix of multiple choice and multiple responses. You'll see 1 question at a time with a timer running in the corner. You can flag questions and also come back to them at the end. Also, AWS has unscored questions in each exam, which do not count to your overall score. It's just AWS testing new style questions. So it doesn't really matter if you get them wrong. When you submit and complete a test, you can get your results right there on the screen, or it may take some time for them to process it. If you pass, your certification is valid for 3 years. And something that people don't know is passing a higher level exam automatically recertifies you in the lower ones. So if you pass a Solutions Architect Professional, you also certify a Solutions Architect Associate, which gets rated too. Then you also get 50% discount voucher for your next exam. And if you don't pass, you can retake it after 14 days. Now, recently, also AWS has launched a way that you can recertify without having to retake your exam. I'll drop some links in the description below for that. Okay, so that's how the exams actually work. But there is actually 5 huge mistakes that you'll want to avoid when preparing for any AWS exam. Number 1 is studying everything at equal depth. The exam guide tells you exactly how much each domain is worth, but most people ignore this. If domain 1 is worth 14% and domain 3 is worth 34%, you should be spending significantly more time on domain 3. The exam guide is literally telling you where the questions are going to come from. Mistake number 2 is passively studying. Watching video courses on Udemy for 30 to 40 hours and taking notes, expecting that will be enough. The exam tests whether you can identify the right solution from a set of options in a scenario. That requires active recall and testing yourself, not just passively consuming videos. Mistake number 3 is using outdated materials. AWS updates and renames its services very often. A course recorded even 2 years ago might reference services that may have been removed or replaced. Always check when your study materials were last updated and compare them against the current exam guide. Mistake number 4 is no way to measure exam readiness. This is the mistake that actually costs people the most money. They either book the exam too early because they're feeling confident after finishing a course, or they keep delaying it because they never quite feel ready. Both come from the same problem: no objective way to measure what they actually know versus what they think they know. Mistake number 5 is not practicing under real conditions. The exam has a time limit. The questions are designed to be tricky. If you've never practiced answering exam-style questions under time conditions, the real exam is going to feel significantly harder than it should do. So with all of that in mind, here is what effective AWS exam preparation actually looks like in 2027 and beyond. It starts with the exam guide. Download it, understand the domains, take the notes on the weightings. This is your roadmap. AWS also provides free resources through Skill Builder, their online learning platform with hundreds of free courses plus official practice sets for each questions. But the core problem with most of these study approaches, whether it's free resources or paid Udemy courses, it's the same. They give you a massive curriculum with lots of material, but they have no context on who you are and how much you know. And that's inefficient because you may already know 30% of the exam material. The smartest approach is to actually assess yourself first by taking a mock exam. Find out what you already know and what you don't know, identify your specific knowledge gaps, and focus your study time there. Then, as you study, you need to continuously test yourself with questions that match the real exam in format and in difficulty. Every time that you get a question wrong, that's data to track because it tells you exactly where to focus on. That said, doing this all on your own is incredibly time consuming, and you'll end up jumping between 4 or 5 different tools and subscriptions, troubleshooting the process of learning instead of actually focusing your time on actually getting exam ready. And that's exactly where studytech.ai comes in, the #1 platform in the world for AI and cloud certification prep. When you choose your certification on StudyTech AI, instead of a 40-hour course, it begins with a diagnostic assessment. You answer questions across every domain of the exam, and within 5 minutes, it maps out exactly where you're strong and exactly where you are weak. Domain domain by domain, topic by topic. From there, every day that you log in, StudyTech takes care of every part of the learning journey for you. There's a daily loop where you'll focus on your weakest topic every single day. You'll be able to learn a focused piece of material from your weakest domain. You'll get quizzed on it immediately. Any questions that you get wrong automatically turns into flashcards so you can nail the exact knowledge gap. That is it. You log in, you hit a button, and you start learning straight away. You don't have to think about what you need to learn because StudyTech AI plans that for you and maps it out towards your exam date. So every day you're learning the right things to get closer to passing your exam. No more 30-hour static courses that are built for everyone that you'll never finish. No more jumping between 5 to 6 different tools or watching videos on topics that you already know. And when you finish one lesson, you just keep moving and learning, forcing active recall and focusing on your weak areas. As you start to improve, StudyTech.ai tracks your progress and your understanding and gives you visibility on exactly how much knowledge that you have across each domain for the exam. Every action that you take is fed into your knowledge profile and into your dashboards, is updated in real time and personalized to you. And then once you start going through the quizzes, you unlock the ability to take real practice exams. These are inside StudyTech AI and they come with a subscription. There's no extra fees. And yes, they're also personalized to you so you're not wasting time on topics that you already know. And the best part is that every time you take the exam, again, it feeds back into your knowledge profile and your dashboard, and in real time, it tells you exactly which domains are still weak, and then you start working on those. So once you're passing confidently and progressing throughout all the topics in each domain, you'll notice the exam readiness score is updating in real time. And StudyTech AI will give you the signal to go book your exam when you are ready. You will also get a complete pass guarantee, meaning that you'll book your exam, you'll be able to pass with confidence. So no more guessing, no more flying blind, just a data-driven approach. So if you want to get AWS certified without wasting months, go check out studytech.ai, link in the description below. Now, before we wrap up, it's worth knowing where the industry is heading towards. AWS has been aggressively adding AI machine learning certifications. 3 of the 12 certifications are AI focused, and it signals clearly where the demand is going and what skills employers will be looking for. The exams themselves are also evolving. AWS experimented with lab-based components where you actually perform tasks in a live AWS environment instead of just answering questions. As of right now, none of the exams actually require hands-on building, but that could change. And as AI continues to make resumes and portfolios easier to fabricate, proctored closed book exams are becoming one of the few signals that employers can actually trust. So if anything, certifications are becoming more important in the AI era and not less. Remember, how you prepare matters as much as what you prepare for. Pick the right certification for your goals, study smarter and not harder, and when you're ready, book the exam and go pass it. Check out studytech.ai to pass your certifications in weeks and not months. Let me know in the comments which certification that you're preparing for. As always, good luck and I'll see you soon.